I ranked number one on Google 3,714 times across 22 different e-commerce brands, earning my clients over $40 million in organic search revenue. And no, it wasn't by accident. It was by following a simple but effective 4-step system that I'm about to break down for you in this video. SEO is the single most powerful strategy to consistently capture and convert high purchase intent traffic without having to actually pay for every single click. If you don't know how to rank number one on Google, your competitors are literally stealing your customers right out from under you right now. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to scale your organic search sales on autopilot by ranking number one. So just so you know I'm not lying, before we get into the actual value, here's a quick look at how much some of my clients are making from SEO. Start with this brand in December, 151K in organic search revenue, January 206, February $313,000 in organic search revenue. Another one, December 90,000, January a little bit down at 71, all the way back up to 110 in February. Next up, another brand, 24 in December, 27 in January, and $32,000 for the first time in organic search revenue in February. Backlinks are still one of the most important ranking factors if you want to make money with SEO. You absolutely need them in order to rank in the top 3 spots of Google for purchase intent keywords. But I want you to think about this. Do you really think that every single backlink is created equally? Is a link from Forbes really better than a niche link on a well-read traffic blog that's related to your industry? The reality is that there's a backlink strategy that the top e-commerce brands are using to dominate organic search rankings and drive sales that you are currently not using. Before we even talk about how to use backlinks effectively, you need to stop these SEO habits moving forward with any of these steps, including the backlinks. First and foremost, and I know it's going to be a bit of a hot take, you need to stop optimizing or even think about optimizing for ChatGPT and Perplexity. This is shiny object syndrome at its finest. Google still dominates the organic search market. They have 89.7% market share as of March 2025. People are not shopping on AI platforms. They use those for research and questions. They are shopping on Google, which is why you currently spend tens of thousands of dollars each month on Google Ads. You do it because you know there are buyers on Google. Now, the last thing to consider here, even if you wanted to optimize for ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, you're already doing so by optimizing for Google. So just keep your attention on what's working. Those platforms draw information from the internet. If you're optimizing for search, you are already taking care of that. Next up, stop writing top of funnel blogs. This has been a big change to our late 2024, early 2025 strategies. With AI overviews, top of funnel blog content is completely outdated. You would be lucky, even if you rank number one, to receive maybe 20 to 30% of the clicks that you would have gotten at the same time last year. I think they are a very low leverage activity, and we are here to make money. Now that those bad habits are out of the way, let's get to the first step of how I use backlinks to rank number one for my clients and earn them over $40 million in organic search revenue every single year. First, little to no guest posts. Guest posts are the most common type of backlink. They're the easiest to get. They're probably the most scalable, but quite frankly, they don't work that well. They are very difficult to extract value out of. In addition to having to spend time writing the content, paying the fee, you also have to supply the traffic. Most guest posts are not going to get linked to. Instead, just use link insertion. They're faster, they're cheaper, they're more effective. We pair reactive PR links with link insertions, and we're seeing exceptionally good results. And we're also getting digital PR, which is probably going to 2, 3, maybe even 4x the total number of monthly links we build for all of our clients. So guest postings out, link insertions are very much in. And pairing this backlink strategy with the next step is an even more effective way to increase revenue through SEO. And it's one of the main reasons why I was able to scale my clients' organic search revenue so quickly and so repeatedly. That brings us to step number 2, expanding your range of keywords. E-commerce brands are now ranking number one for pretty much all purchase intent keywords. If you've been using the internet for more than a year, this will catch you by surprise. Affiliate sites used to dominate SERPs for keywords like best compression socks or best puzzles for kids and other of these like best of, top 10 type keywords, but not anymore. Early 23, late 24 especially, there are very few affiliate sites to be found in the top 10 for some of these keywords. Now, e-commerce brands like yours can leverage these keywords correctly, and you will replace what used to be an affiliate site, and you can rank number one for these highly converting keywords that, with the right search volume, can add hundreds of thousands of dollars in organic search revenue to your brand every single year. One brand we work with, after a down Q4 last year, they onboarded with us, and we pivoted their entire collection page strategy, focusing on best type keywords. We built out about 40 of them, and nearly all of them rank in the number one spot right now. And the best part is they compete against some enormous brands, right? But those competitors are still ignoring these kinds of keywords, and we're quietly generating an extra $75,000 from these new pages alone for this brand. Purchase net traffic for this same brand is at an all-time high, 3 times higher than it was in January after a huge down Q4. This kind of strategy, like these kinds of keywords we target that a lot of agencies and SEOs ignore, is where I believe we get to show off our creativity the most. Most SEOs tend to think about keywords in a very linear manner. They look at the pages on the site, they try and find a keyword for each page, they don't really go beyond that. We've got a keyword, now on to the next. Based on the most sites I've seen, this typically results in SEOs targeting a keyword that's way too competitive that they're never going to rank for, or at least it's going to take them like multiple years to rank for. We diverge from this line of thinking by basically stacking up a bunch of smaller keywords to equal one giant keyword. Example, instead of targeting something broad like herbal teas, we will just create several sub-collections for herbal teas. Herbal teas for sleep, herbal teas for digestion, herbal teas for relaxation, herbal teas for anxiety, so on and so forth, okay? If you ever seen the movie like Moneyball with Jonah Hill, Brad Pitt, we approach SEO in a very similar way. Let's use the herbal teas one for example. Let's say 22,000 searches a month, just as an example. It is by all accounts the Jason Giambi of keywords. Ranking number one for this keyword would drive hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales over the course of a year if that was your brand in the number one spot. However, starting from scratch, we cannot quickly rank number one. So we cannot quickly replace Giambi just like the Oakland A's in the movie did. Because we cannot rank number one for herbal teas next month, and it's going to take probably like 9 to 12, maybe more months, brands cannot wait that long for a return on their investment, right? Brand looked at me and I told him it was going to take a year for this to work out for them, they would go the other way. Instead, we just find supporting keywords that combined can replace Giambi. We said herbal teas was 22,000 searches a month. Instead, let's just find 22 keywords each with a search volume of 1,000 a month. Let's rank number one for all of these. If we do so, we'll have effectively replaced Giambi with lesser, smaller known players or lesser, smaller known keywords. The beauty of this is these lesser competitive keywords are easier to rank for because everyone's ignoring them. We can pick them up, stack them on top of each other. All of a sudden, we're making a lot of money. Step 3 is internal linking. Internal links, for sure, are one of the easiest ways to improve rankings and revenue. They're completely free. You have total control over them. They are one of the most underutilized components of SEO. However, most websites fail at internal linking, leaving massive SEO potential and missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are a few key mistakes I tend to see regularly with internal links. They do not consider the order on the actual page at which they're building links, putting their money links at the very bottom of each page with like a very weak call to action, shop our products or something like that. They use weak anchors, so like natural or branded instead of exact match. And they also typically, though they're building internal links, end up with tons of orphan pages accidental. Like I said, I see these errors all the time, and most people do these kinds of things when it comes to internal linking, and it just simply doesn't work because they're not clearly defining their site architecture. And I believe the problem with these issues is their frame, like their actual reference point. They believe that internal links are a way to help Google crawl your site, when in fact you should be viewing them as a set of rules that tell Google how to crawl your site. You change this from passive to active, and now you can start to see how much more valuable internal links actually are. I use the exact same internal link framework for every single 7 or 8 e-commerce brand that we work with, and it's exactly what enables me to rank number one thousands of times each year. Some things to remember: build 5 to 10 similar internal links between similar categories and subcategories. If you're on Shopify, similar collections and sub-collections. Another question I get as you build out these new collections, as you build new links: do you need to add them all to your main navigation? My answer: yes, I believe you should. Your main navigation will not hurt or suffer nearly as much as you think by adding a few more internal links, and an internal link from the main nav is one of the most powerful types of internal links on your site. You stare at your site more than everyone else on the planet. You think it's crowded. I guarantee you they don't think so. If you absolutely refuse to link to these new collections from your main nav because you're concerned about the optics, at the very least, you should link to these new collections from your homepage, the footer, and supporting collections. The homepage is good, but links from the footer are almost as good as the links from the main nav and are some of the most valuable kinds of internal links on your site. That also places the newly created and linked to collection just one click from the top of the site hierarchy, which is an optimal place for it to be in order for it to rank highly. If it's like 7 or 8 links removed from the top, it's gonna be hard for Google to find it. The next best is from supporting collections, which if you've added some to your main nav, will put any collection it's linked to just 2 links removed from the top of the hierarchy. In a perfect world, as I said, I would link to all of your collections from all of those locations: main nav, homepage, footer. I understand that you may think it'll be too crowded, it'll look weird, so here's my counter argument to you. Would you rather have more purchase intent traffic that hypothetically thinks your site has too many links, or would you rather have very little or not at all traffic? The first, as I stated, is a hypothetical issue. The second is your current reality. But if you're a 7 or 8 figure Shopify brand that wants my team to help you escape your current reality using the exact same SEO system that I just described to rank number one nearly 4,000 times last year, you can click the first link in the description to book a discovery call with me, just like this menswear brand that's generated an additional $1 million in organic search revenue since working with us over the course of the last year. But now that you know how to optimize your site structure, what if I told you there was another untapped goldmine of SEO opportunities that you are currently missing? Step 4, final step here, is optimizing and building middle of funnel content. Most SEO strategies focus on traffic volume, but middle of funnel searches bring in dedicated buyers, not just visitors. Instead of driving thousands of unqualified visitors to your e-commerce brand site with completely irrelevant blogs that just drive traffic, which is completely a vanity metric, instead I want you to think about writing middle of funnel content. You will attract fewer visitors, the volume will be substantially lower, but these visitors are much closer to making a purchase decision, which presents the opportunity for what I've seen for our brands as high as a 4 to 5% conversion rate on some of these middle of funnel blogs if done correctly. You're not with me on the middle of funnel stuff. All right, hear me out. Think about how people actually shop online. Are people just going to search best shoes and buy the first product they see? It's unlikely. That that'd be great. But especially as you evolve into like the $50 to $100 plus price range, people are much more particular about how they spend their money. They will compare brands, look for alternatives. They are going to do anything they can to validate their decision before purchasing. Middle of funnel content is what is going to put your product in front of buyers who are actively looking for a reason to choose you. Consumers don't remember your name. I know that's going to hurt your feelings, but they don't. They are looking for the best deal at the best time. You need to be there when they are doing that. If you do not do middle funnel content, those potential customers are going to enter someone else's funnel and they're going to become their paying customer, not yours. So the way to capitalize on this is by making pages that target high intent, low volume searches. Things like Nike Air Max versus Adidas Ultra Boost if you're shopping for shoes. Best alternatives to Hydro Flask if you're shopping for water bottles. How many water bottles are there? Thousands. I don't know what the best kind is, but I don't want Hydro Flask, I can tell you that. These searches convert at a much, much higher rate than something like who has the best water bottle. Especially if you add in calls to actions and product embeds that turn these pages into sales machines. You can even run ads on top of them as well, and you're just going to print money through these kinds of pages. If you've made it this far, you now have the exact strategy I used to rank #1 on Google 3,714 times in 2024. And if you're a 7 or 8 figure Shopify brand owner and you would like your site to be the next brand on that list, click the link in the description below to schedule a discovery call with me, and thanks for watching.